The transport ship moved slowly through the dark space, its silver body shining under distant stars. Inside it, many young students sat in quiet rows. They came from many worlds. Some had blue skin, some had long ears, some had eyes like glass. They all wore the same gray academy suit. Among them sat a human girl named Lena. She looked out of the small window beside her seat. Her face was calm. Her dark eyes followed the stars as if she was counting them. She did not talk much. She held a small metal tag in her hand. It was her entry pass to the Galactic Learning Academy. This academy was the biggest school in this part of the galaxy. Many species sent their best students there. Humans were new. Only a few humans had ever been invited before. Some students looked at Lena from time to time. They did not stare for long. They whispered to each other in soft voices. Lena could not understand their words, but she understood their tone. It was the tone people used when they were unsure. The ship gave a soft sound. A calm voice spoke in the cabin. Arrival in 5 minutes. Prepare for landing. Students began to fix their suits and collect their bags. Lena placed her metal tag around her neck. She took a slow breath. This was her first time so far from Earth. She remembered her mother's words. Stay calm, watch first. Speak later. The ship landed on a wide metal platform. The door opened with a long hiss. Bright white light filled the cabin. One by one, the students walked out. The academy was huge. Tall towers reached high into the sky. Flying vehicles moved in straight lines between them. The ground was smooth and shining like a mirror. Lines of soft blue light showed walking paths. Lena stepped onto the platform. The air felt clean but cold. She looked around without turning her head too much. She did not want to look lost. A tall alien with pale green skin stood near the entrance gate. He wore a dark blue uniform. A badge on his chest showed he was an instructor. He spoke loudly. New students, follow the light path to the main hall. Do not wander. Lena followed the glowing path on the floor. Her steps were quiet. She carried only a small bag. Inside the main hall, the ceiling was so high that it was hard to see the top. A moving screen showed words in many languages. Robots floated around, guiding students. Everything was new. Everything was big. After registration, students were given room numbers. Lena's room was in Tower 7. She took a lift that moved without sound. The door opened to a long corridor. The corridor was busy. Students moved in both directions. Some carried boxes. Some talked loudly. Some looked tired from travel. Lena walked carefully on the right side, just like she was taught. She looked at the numbers on the doors. Then it happened. An alien instructor came from a side corner. He held a stack of thin data pads. He walked fast while reading one of them. He did not look ahead. Lena turned the corner at the same time. They bumped into each other. The data pads flew from his hands and scattered across the floor. A sharp sound echoed in the corridor. Several students stopped walking. Lena stepped back at once. "I'm sorry," she said in a calm voice. The instructor looked up. For a short second, Lena's eyes met his. Her face was not angry, not cold, just calm, very calm. But the instructor froze. His wide yellow eyes shook a little. His breath stopped. His shoulders became stiff. It was as if his body remembered something his mind did not want to recall. Lena bent down to pick up the fallen pads. She held them out to him politely. He did not take them at first. His voice came out low and dry. "Sorry." The word was almost a whisper. Nearby students stared. Instructors did not say sorry to students. Not like this, not in a shaken voice. She simply placed the pads into his hands. "It was my fault, too," she said softly. The instructor quickly took the pads. He gave a small nod and walked away faster than before. He did not look back. The corridor slowly returned to normal, but whispers started. "Did you see that?" He apologized to a human. "That human girl." Lena heard the soft voices, but did not react. She found her room and entered. The door closed behind her with a light click. A bed, a desk, a wall screen, and a storage unit. She placed her bag down and sat on the bed. Her heart was steady. She did not think much about the bump. To her, it was just an accident. Far above, in a quiet control room, a small floating camera replayed the corridor moment. Two figures watched the screen. One was an old alien with gray skin and deep lines on his face. The other stood in the shadows, his shape hard to see. The video showed Lena's calm stare clearly. The old alien spoke slowly. "Pause it there." The shadowed figure leaned closer. "Interesting." The old alien folded his hands. "It is the same look." "Yes," the other replied. "The records were right." Back in the student tower, Lena decided to explore a little. She left her room and walked to the common area. It was a wide space with soft seats and food machines. A small alien boy sat alone near a table. He had round ears and light purple skin. He struggled with a drink container that would not open.
Lena walked over. "Turn it like this," she said gently.
The lid opened with a pop. The boy's eyes brightened.
"Oh, thank you. You're welcome," Lena replied.
He looked at her badge. "You are human." "Yes. I am Pico." "Lena." Pico glanced around and leaned closer. "Some students are talking about you." "About me? The corridor thing. With the instructor." Lena gave a small shrug. "It was nothing." Pico shook his head. "Instructors do not fear students." "I did nothing scary." Pico studied her face. "Maybe for humans it is normal." Lena did not know what to say to that. She gave a small smile instead. A loud bell sound filled the tower. A message appeared on the wall screen. "Orientation begins in 10 minutes. Students started moving toward the exit. Lena and Pico followed. The orientation hall was filled with rows of seats. A tall figure stood on the stage and welcomed everyone. He spoke about unity, learning, and peace between species. Lena listened quietly. She noticed some students still looking at her from time to time. After the event, lights dimmed to show a star map on the ceiling. It was beautiful. Many students looked amazed. Lena simply watched in silence. From the back of the hall, someone lifted a small device and secretly took a picture of her face while she looked at the stars. The person sent the image through a private channel. A message returned. "Keep watching the human." That night, Lena lay on her bed. The room was dark except for a faint blue light from the wall. She thought about home for a moment, then closed her eyes. Somewhere else in the academy, the instructor who bumped into her sat alone in his office. He replayed the memory in his mind. Those calm eyes. He opened an old file on his desk screen. It showed historical notes about early human survival on a harsh planet called Earth. Images showed storms, wild animals, deep oceans, and wars. He whispered to himself, "That look? The look of one who has faced danger and stayed standing." In the control room above, the shadowed figure spoke again. If more humans carry that calm, the balance may change. The old alien replied. Or the galaxy may finally learn something. The lights of the academy dimmed as night cycle began. Lena slept peacefully, not knowing that a simple stair in a corridor had already started quiet waves across the academy. And in the silence of space around the great school, a feeling spread among a few who knew old stories. Humans had arrived. And some stories said humans were small, soft, and short-lived. But other stories said humans were the ones who walked into danger, looked it in the eye, and did not step back. The academy would soon learn which stories were true. The next morning, Lena woke to the soft hum of the academy. Light filtered through the tall windows of her room, painting the floor with a pale glow. She stretched quietly, listening to the distant voices in the corridors. Today was her first full day of classes, and she felt the usual mix of excitement and caution. She had learned long ago that quiet observation often told her more than words. She got dressed and packed a small bag with a notebook, a few writing tools, and the metal tag that allowed her to access different areas of the academy. The hallways were already busy. Students from many worlds moved together, carrying their own styles, habits, and languages. Some had extra limbs, some had tails, some walked on floating pads. Lena watched them carefully, noting patterns, listening to whispers, and trying not to draw attention. As she walked down the corridor toward the dining area, she felt the familiar weight of stairs. Students moved aside subtly. Some even stopped talking when she passed. She could feel a strange tension in the air. It was as if her calm presence left others uncertain, even uneasy. Lena had experienced this before on her home planet, though not to this degree. Here, she was clearly different. When she reached the dining hall, the space was enormous. Multiple tables floated slightly above the polished floor. The smell of food from different worlds mixed together, spicy and sweet, metallic and earthy. Lena picked a small, empty table in the corner. She wanted to observe first before sitting near others. Pico, the small, purple-skinned boy from yesterday, arrived and waved at her. "You sit here?" he asked in his soft voice. "Alone?" "Yes," Lena replied. "I like to watch first," Pico nodded, though he looked a little uneasy. "I understand. Many are talking?" "Talking?" Lena raised an eyebrow. "The corridor? The bump yesterday? Your eyes. Students say you scared the instructor." Lena blinked slowly. She had not thought of it that way. "I did not scare him," she said quietly. "It was just a look. To them, it is more than a look. Some even whisper, 'Humans are dangerous.'" "Dangerous?" Lena repeated. Her voice was soft, almost questioning. She had heard strange rumors about humans, but she never believed them. "Yes," Pico said. "They talk." "You do not even know." Lena looked around the hall. Some students were indeed whispering, pointing subtly in her direction. Their eyes were wide, filled with a mixture of curiosity and fear. Lena kept calm. She did not flinch. She had learned that showing fear often made others uncomfortable. After breakfast, the students were called to the first orientation class. The hall was filled with hundreds of students sitting in organized rows. The walls displayed holograms of planets, galaxies, and maps of trade routes. A tall, alien instructor stepped onto the stage. His skin was gray and his eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. "Welcome, students," he began. "You are here because your species has shown talent, but talent alone does not make a student. Discipline, understanding, and observation are what you must practice." Lena listened carefully. The words were important, but she watched the students around her more. She noted who looked at her, who ignored her, and who whispered in groups. After the speech, the instructor divided the students into small teams for an exercise. Lena found herself with Pico and two other aliens, a tall, blue-skinned girl named Riva and a round, furry creature with golden eyes called Miko. "Today," the instructor said, "you will navigate the labyrinth dome. It is a test of observation and quick thinking. Work together and record your results." The students moved toward the large glass dome. Inside, the labyrinth was already visible, twisting metal walls, high platforms, and small gaps filled with moving light barriers. Lena felt a faint thrill. Challenges were better faced with focus, not panic. As the team entered, Lena noticed Riva immediately took charge. Her voice was loud and commanding. Miko followed quietly, sniffing the air as if reading hidden signs. Peiko stayed close to Lena, glancing at her occasionally as if looking for reassurance. "Let's go this way," Riva said, pointing to a narrow corridor. Lena followed, careful not to bump into walls or other students. Her eyes scanned the environment. Every detail mattered. The faint scratches on metal, the slight hum of energy conduits, the way shadows moved. She noticed that one panel near a corner flickered. "Be careful," Lena said softly. "That panel might trigger a false alarm." Riva looked at her, a little annoyed. "It is just the simulation. Why worry?" Lena shrugged. Small mistakes can become big problems. Suddenly, a moving wall barrier came down quickly in front of them. Riva froze. Miko hissed softly. Pico jumped back, his tail curling nervously. Without thinking, Lena stepped forward. She watched the pattern of the barrier's motion and timed her step. She moved through it with ease, barely touching the edge. Pico followed, looking amazed. Riva stared at her. "How did you do that?" "Just watch," Lena said simply. "Notice the rhythm." They continued deeper into the labyrinth. Soon a loud alarm blared. The system had detected a malfunction. Small mechanical drones scattered through the corridors. They emitted bright lights and low, buzzing sounds. Some students panicked. They ran toward exits, bumping into walls. Lena stayed calm. She guided Pico and Miko behind a thick column. Riva hesitated but followed. The drones moved fast, but Lena noticed their predictable patterns. She whispered instructions to the team. "Move when the left side is clear. Wait when two are close. Don't panic." Step by step, they navigated the maze. Pico's eyes widened. "You are amazing," he said quietly. "I cannot believe how calm you are." Calmness was her strength, but she also knew it could make others uneasy. Finally, they reached a central chamber. It was bright, with holograms spinning around them. A panel indicated that their time was excellent. Their team had completed the course without any real errors. Other students arrived slowly, looking exhausted. Many had tripped, bumped into walls, or been attacked by the drones. Whispers started again, louder this time. "Did you see the human? She is different." She never panicked. She looks like she controls the drones with her mind. Lena stayed quiet, but she could hear the murmurs. She looked at Pico. "Do they always talk like that?" "Brian." He nodded slowly. "About everyone, yes. But humans, they do not understand humans. That is why your calm scares them." Later, in a quiet hallway, the alien instructor from yesterday passed by. His eyes flickered when he saw Lena. He lowered his head slightly and walked past without speaking. Pico noticed. "He is scared of you," he whispered. "Why?" Lena asked. Pico shrugged. "I don't know. He is an instructor. Instructors do not fear students, but some humans have a look that reminds them of old stories. Dangerous stories. What stories? Lena asked, curious. Pico shook his head. I don't know all. Only whispers. That afternoon, Lena returned to her room to rest. She lay on the bed and thought about what Pico had said. Humans had survived harsh planets. They had faced storms, predators, and hunger that aliens might never understand. Perhaps this was why her calm seemed strange to others. Outside, a small drone hovered in the corridor. It was tiny, almost invisible, with a soft red light. It scanned her room for a few seconds, then zipped away. Lena did not notice it at first. Far above the academy, in the control room, the shadowed figure watched. She adapts quickly, faster than expected. The old alien beside him nodded slowly. She is only the first human in this wave. Others may be coming. We must see if this is common. Meanwhile, Lena prepared for her evening class. The academy used simulated worlds for training. Tonight, they would practice team coordination in low gravity. Lena reviewed her notes and studied the movements of other species. She noted their strengths and weaknesses. In the training room, students floated carefully, adjusting to low gravity. Some laughed and bumped into each other. Lena moved smoothly, observing each step, each gesture. She adjusted to the environment faster than most, helping Pico when he drifted too far from the platform. The instructor gave instructions. Some aliens struggled to follow. Lena's team performed perfectly. She guided quietly, never raising her voice. Yet, every step was precise. Others noticed. Some students whispered behind their hands. She leads without speaking much. She is different? She is human? Lena did not respond. She stayed focused. Now, focus was stronger than pride. At the end of the training, the instructor approached. He had yellow eyes and the same pale green skin as before. He studied Lena closely. You have talent, he said finally. But talent alone does not protect you. Keep your focus, human.
Yes, instructor. He walked away, but his expression was uneasy. Somewhere deep in his mind, a memory of old human legends stirred.
Tales of people who faced impossible odds and survived. The memory was faint, but strong enough to make him cautious. That night, Lena returned to her room and found Pico waiting outside. Can I come in? He asked softly. Lena nodded. Yes. He entered quietly. Students are still talking about you. Some say you saved them today. I did nothing special, Lena said, lying on the bed. I just stayed calm. Calm is not normal here. You are human. They do not understand. But I do. Lena looked at him. Thank you. Pico hesitated, then said, I think you may change things here. The academy will notice humans differently now. Lena's eyes reflected the soft light. She did not answer. She knew change came slowly. But sometimes small steps started bigger waves. Far above the student towers, hidden cameras replayed every action Lena had taken. Someone else was watching, taking notes silently. The figure was unknown. Their motives were unclear. Keep observing. A voice whispered in the shadowed room. The galaxy was vast. Many eyes watched. Many whispers spread. And one small human girl, calm and steady, had already started stirring them all. The first day ended quietly, but for Lena, nothing had been quiet at all. The whispers about her calm, her stare, her way of moving would grow louder in the days to come. And some of those whispers would not be friendly, but Lena slept peacefully. Her mind was sharp. Her body rested. She was ready for whatever came next. The Academy was beginning to notice humans, and humans were beginning to show they were not just small, fragile creatures as many species believed. Somewhere, deep in the control room, the shadowed figure leaned closer to the screens.
"Yes," the figure said softly. "She is the one."
Watch her closely. The human girl will teach them something they have never known. And so, Lena's quiet first day ended with a sense of anticipation, though she herself could not know what was coming. The galaxy was watching. The morning air in the academy was colder than Lena expected. She stepped out of her room, her metal tag hanging around her neck, and walked along the wide corridor of Tower 7. The day was full of anticipation. Today was the survival training exercise, a test that all students feared. It was not just a test of strength or skill, it was a test of calm, judgment, and quick thinking. Lena had faced challenges before, but this was different. In the central hall, students gathered around the instructors. Some were nervous, others were eager to prove themselves. The alien instructors were tall, rigid, and moved with authority. One of them, a gray-skinned being with sharp eyes, looked at Lena and frowned slightly. He had remembered her calm during yesterday's labyrinth exercise. He whispered something to another instructor, but Lena did not hear the words. She felt the weight of attention anyway. The survival training area was located under a large dome on the edge of the academy. The dome was nearly invisible until the students were inside. When the doors opened, a huge artificial forest appeared. Towering metallic trees, rocks that seemed real, streams of flowing water, and uneven ground stretched as far as the eye could see. Mist drifted near the ground, and small drones hovered above, simulating a storm. The environment was challenging, yet beautiful. The instructor gave the rules. You will work in teams. Each team must navigate the forest and reach the central tower. Dangers will appear. Some are real, some are illusions. Only calm thinking will save you. Lena was paired with Pico again, along with Riva and Miko. Their team moved cautiously. Lena's eyes scanned the terrain carefully. Every shadow, every sound, every slight movement mattered. She noticed footprints in the mud that were not natural. She observed a rustling in a nearby bush. Her instincts told her to watch, not run. Suddenly, a loud growl echoed across the forest. Students froze. Some small alien creatures that were part of the simulation appeared, their eyes glowing red. The creatures lunged toward the closest students. Panic spread. Many ran in random directions. Screams echoed in the mist. Lena stayed calm. She remembered the training on her home planet. Fear made mistakes larger, slowed reactions, and clouded judgment. She whispered to her team, "Stay close. Watch the creatures. They attack patterns, not individuals." Pico's tail curled nervously. I'm scared," he stammered. "Then hold my hand," Lena said calmly. "Follow me. Do not panic." The team moved carefully, Lena leading the way. The creatures lunged again. Lena timed their movements and found the pattern. When one lunged, she and her team moved to the side. The creatures missed every time.
Riva's eyes widened. "How do you know?" she asked.
"Look, watch, learn," Lena said softly. The forest seemed endless. Mist made it hard to see. Mechanical birds flew overhead. sending down small sparks of electricity. Lena noticed a narrow ledge along a stream. "This way," she said, pointing. "It is safer than the open ground." The team followed. Pico slipped once, but Lena's hand caught his arm. "Focus," she said. "Step lightly." After a while, they reached a section where the forest grew darker. A giant robot, shaped like a predator, emerged from the mist. Its eyes glowed bright orange. It moved slowly but deliberately toward the group. Other teams scattered. Screams echoed. Some fell over rocks. The robot's mechanical claws scraped the ground, sending sparks flying. Riva panicked. "Run!" she shouted. Lena did not move. She observed the robot carefully. It had sensors that detected motion. She saw its blinking lights and listened to the rhythm of its steps. She noticed that when it paused, it scanned an area for a few seconds before moving again. "Step with me," Lena whispered. "We can pass it without it noticing." Step by step, she led her team around the robot. Her calm made them move slower, more carefully. Pico's eyes were wide, but he trusted her. Miko followed silently, keeping low. Even Riva, though trembling, copied Lena's movements. When they were close enough, Lena picked up a small branch from the ground and threw it across a stream. The robot turned instantly, its attention drawn to the movement.
"Now," Lena whispered. They dashed across the stream while the robot was distracted.
Sparks flew near them, but none touched them. Once they reached a safe distance, Riva let out a relieved laugh. "I cannot believe that worked." Lena shook her head. It was simple observation, nothing more. They moved on, deeper into the forest. Mist grew thicker, and small lights flickered like fireflies. Lena noticed strange markings on the trees. They were not natural. Someone had left them. She touched one lightly and realized it was a guide for another route. "Someone else has been here," she said softly. Pico frowned. "Why?" "Perhaps the instructors," Lena said. "Or maybe a test within the test. Follow me." Suddenly, a mechanical predator jumped from above, landing in their path. It hissed, sparks flying from its mouth. Pico screamed and tried to run. Lena stepped forward. She stared at the robot, not flinching. She timed its mechanical movement and used a fallen branch to block its path. The robot stumbled slightly. Riva gasped. "You are fearless." "I am not fearless," Lena said. "I am careful. I watch," the team continued. After a long walk, they reached the central tower of the dome. A platform rose to greet them. The instructors gave scores. Lena's team had completed the course perfectly. Other teams arrived, exhausted and trembling. Many whispered about Lena's calm. Some were afraid, others curious. Some instructors whispered among themselves. "Why does she stay calm?" one said. "Humans are supposed to be weak, but she is different. She reminds me of the old stories," another whispered. Later in the dormitory, Lena and Pico sat quietly. "I think I understand why they fear you," Pico said softly. "Your calm, it is unnatural to them." "I just stay focused," Lena said, "like I always have." "But it scares them," Pico said. "Some students say it is like you can control everything around you." Lena smiled faintly. "I do not control anything. I just watch." That evening, while Lena was preparing her notes, a message appeared on her wall screen. It was from the Academy leadership, a general notice. "All human students are reminded to maintain calm in exercises.
Your behavior may influence others. Observe carefully and report anomalies."
Lena raised an eyebrow. "Anomalies?" she whispered. She did not know that the notice was not just about behavior. It was a subtle warning. Someone in the leadership had been watching her, noting her ability to remain calm under pressure. Far above, in the control room, the shadowed figure leaned over the screens. She handled it better than expected, the figure said softly. Yes, replied the old gray alien beside him. She may change perceptions faster than we can manage. Keep her under observation. We must learn from her and prepare for what may come. Meanwhile, Lena prepared for sleep, unaware of the silent observation. Her mind reviewed the day's events. She had faced mechanical beasts, dangerous obstacles, and the panic of others, but she had remained calm. That calm had saved her team. It had also made some whisper. In the dark dormitory, Pico watched Lena quietly. I think she is more than human, he whispered softly to himself. Lena slept that night, unaware that whispers about her courage, her calm, and her careful observation were spreading across the academy. The first real challenge had only begun, and she had already made her mark. Tomorrow would be harder. The instructors would test them again, and Lena knew that not everyone would be pleased by her calm. Some would envy it, some would fear it, but she had learned long ago that fear and envy were distractions. Her strength was simple: observation, focus, and patience. And the galaxy had started noticing. Somewhere in the control room, the shadowed figure whispered again, Yes, she is the one we must watch. The human girl will teach them more than they know. The day started quietly in the academy. Lena walked through the corridors, her steps measured and calm. She had learned that speed and noise often brought trouble, while quiet observation gave clarity. Many students glanced at her as she passed. Some whispered, some simply stared. Lena ignored them. She had learned long ago that attention could be dangerous if misused. She met Pico near the cafeteria. Good morning, he said softly.
You ready for today? Lena nodded. Yes.
What is today's exercise? Pico hesitated. I heard it is a special exercise. Some students say it is a test of trust, or maybe something more. Something more? Lena asked, raising an eyebrow. I do not know, Pico said, but watch your back. Not everyone is friendly. Lena nodded. She had noticed whispers. Some students seemed almost afraid of her, but there were others whose eyes held curiosity mixed with something darker. She had learned to recognize those eyes. They belonged to students who were not there to learn, but to watch, to test, and perhaps to sabotage. After breakfast, the students were called to a large hall. The walls of the hall were polished metal, reflecting light from the ceiling. A holographic map of the academy floated in the center, showing training areas, corridors, and hidden paths. A tall instructor with greenish-gray skin stepped forward. His eyes flicked over the students. He stopped on Lena briefly, then quickly looked away. Today's exercise will test not only your skills but your ability to face unknown threats, he said. Some of you may find surprises along the way. Stay alert, work together. Lena's team, Pico, Riva, and Miko, moved toward the training area. As they walked, Lena noticed unusual signs on the walls, small scratches, faint symbols, almost invisible markings. These are guides, she said softly. Someone has been here before us. Riva frowned.
Who would do that? Lena shook her head.
But it is important. Watch carefully. They entered a large simulation chamber. The floor shifted beneath their feet, mimicking rocky terrain. Artificial storms simulated sudden rain, wind, and lightning flashes. The chamber's walls projected forest and mountain scenery, making it easy to lose direction. "Stay close," Lena said. "Do not separate." The team moved carefully, watching each step. Lena noticed that some other students seemed to avoid them. Their glances were not friendly. They whispered to each other, pointing occasionally. Lena could not hear their words, but she understood the tone. Suspicion, maybe even fear. As they moved deeper, a loud crash echoed from the distance. Pico flinched. What was that? Lena crouched and observed. Broken branches, splintered rocks, and disturbed mud showed that something large had moved recently.
"Not natural," she said softly. "Someone, or something, was here before us." Suddenly, a mechanical drone zipped past them.
It was small but fast, buzzing like an angry insect. It circled them and emitted a soft red light. Pico tried to hit it, but Lena caught his hand. "Do not strike," she whispered. "Observe." The drone repeated its path, flying toward the far wall and then returning. Lena noticed its timing and rhythm. "We can move between its passes," she said. "Step on my mark." Step by step, the team followed her directions. They avoided the drone without triggering its sensors. Miko hissed softly but stayed close, while Riva's hands trembled. Once clear, Lena led the team to a small clearing where a holographic panel projected a warning. The panel flickered and then vanished. Lena studied the floor. She noticed faint tracks, not made by humans, nor by small creatures. They were precise, deliberate. "They are watching," Lena said.
Who? Riva asked nervously.
But we are not alone. The team pressed on. Soon they reached a river simulation. The water was fast, artificial, but realistic. The only way across was a narrow floating platform. Lena stepped first, steady and confident. Pico followed, Riva after him, and Miko last. Halfway across, the platform shook violently. Water sprayed toward them. Pico yelled, nearly losing his balance. Lena grabbed his arm and held him steady. "Focus. Watch my steps." Riva exhaled loudly. "I cannot believe you did that." "I did not do anything," Lena said. "I watched." As they moved through the forest again, Lena noticed something strange. A faint voice came through the simulation speakers. It was not part of the training. Words whispered, almost impossible to hear. "She must be stopped." Lena froze. "Did you hear that?" Iko shook his head. "Hear what?" "I thought I heard something too," Miko growled softly. Not normal. She had learned that fear made mistakes. She focused on her surroundings. The trees, the shadows, the sounds, all pointed to one thing. Someone had tampered with the simulation. Someone had set a trap. She crouched and examined the ground. Small sensors were hidden in the mud, designed to trigger alarms and mechanical predators. Lena carefully marked their locations. "Do not step here," she whispered. The team moved cautiously. They avoided the traps, following Lena's instructions. Her calm presence helped them. Pico stayed close. Riva copied her every move, and Miko followed silently. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed. A large robotic predator emerged from the mist. Its eyes glowed orange. It moved slowly, deliberately, toward them. Other students panicked. Some ran, some froze. Lena did not move. She studied the robot's behavior. Its movements were predictable, based on the sound and vibration of the ground. She noticed the small gaps in its sensors and found a rhythm. Wait, Lena whispered. "Do not move until it pauses." The robot lunged once, then paused. Lena stepped forward, carefully, timing her movements. The team followed her lead. Another lunge, another pause. Step by step, they moved around the predator. Riva gasped. "How do you do that?"
"Watch," Lena said.
"Learn the rhythm. Do not panic." Lena glanced back. The predator had lost track of them. "You saved us," Pico said, his voice trembling. "I just stayed calm," Lena said softly. "That is all." They continued deeper into the simulation. Mist grew thicker. The sounds of mechanical predators and faint whispers echoed. Lena noticed faint scratches on the trees, symbols, almost invisible, pointed toward the central tower. "This way," she whispered. The team followed. They reached a clearing where the central tower stood. A platform rose to meet them. The instructors gave scores. Lena's team had completed the exercise perfectly. Other students arrived slowly, exhausted and trembling. Many whispered about Lena's calm, her observation, her ability to handle danger. Some instructors exchanged worried looks. After the exercise, Lena returned to her room with Pico. "Do you know why some students are scared of me?" he asked quietly. "I think it is because I stay calm," Lena said. "That is all I do." "No," Pico said softly. "It is more than that. Some say you remind them of old human legends, humans who survived impossible dangers, people who do not panic, people who change the outcome of a situation just by being steady." Lena nodded slowly.
"Maybe, but I only do what I have learned."
Observation, patience, and focus. That night, Lena noticed something strange. A small drone hovered near her window. It was not part of the Academy's usual monitoring. It watched her silently before disappearing. Far above, in the control room, the shadowed figure leaned over a series of screens. "She is learning quickly," the figure said softly. "Yes," replied the gray-skinned alien. "She adapts faster than we expected. It may not be safe to let her continue unobserved. We must know more." Somewhere hidden in the Academy, another figure took notes. Their identity was unknown, their intentions unclear. They had been watching Lena since her arrival, noting her calm, her focus, her ability to navigate danger without panic. In the dormitory, Lena lay on her bed, thinking about the day. She had faced mechanical predators, hidden traps, and unusual dangers. Her calm had saved her team. She had not feared. She had simply observed and acted. Outside, the Academy was quiet. The mist from the training dome spread over the grounds. The first whispers of suspicion, fear, and curiosity about Lena were growing louder. Somewhere deep in the control room, the shadowed figure whispered again, "Keep observing. The human girl will reveal more than we expect. She is the key."
And so, Lena's second day of survival training ended.
She had faced hidden danger, unknown observers, and mechanical threats. She had remained calm and protected her team. The Academy had begun to notice the humans differently, and for Lena, the quiet challenge of observation had only just begun. The galaxy had started to watch, and some of those watching were not friendly. The morning light spilled across the Academy towers. Lena walked through the corridors, calm and steady as always. Today was the day of the public skill trial. All students would demonstrate what they had learned so far. The trial would be observed by instructors, leaders, and even representatives from other worlds. It was meant to show skill, teamwork, and courage. Lena carried her small bag and metal tag, her eyes scanning the corridor. Whispers followed her. Some students looked uneasy, Some glared. Lena ignored them. She had learned that noticing distractions too much could weaken focus. Pico met her near the training hall. "The trial today?" "Some students are nervous," he said softly. "They talk about you again." "I do not care what they say," Lena replied. "Focus on the task, not on whispers." Riva and Miko joined them. Riva frowned. "Do you think anyone will try something unusual? I mean, Dob? Sabotage? Stop by." Lena glanced at her. "It is possible. Always be ready." The students entered the public trial arena. The hall was enormous, with high ceilings and walls of transparent metal that allowed observers from above to watch clearly. Platforms floated in the center, and mechanical obstacles moved across the floor. Drones buzzed silently, monitoring every step. The instructor with greenish-gray skin stepped forward. "This trial will test your skills, teamwork, and calm under pressure. Use only what you have learned. Any unusual events will be part of your evaluation." Lena's team took their place at the starting platform. Pico glanced at her.
"Ready?" he whispered. Lena nodded. "Yeah!"
"Observe. Do not panic." The trial began. Platforms shifted, obstacles moved, and the students had to reach the far end without mistakes. Lena moved smoothly, leading her team. Every step was measured. She noted the timing of the obstacles, the movements of other teams, and the signals of the drones. Some fell, some panicked. Whispers of admiration and fear spread through the crowd. "Look at her calm," one student said. "She does not even hesitate." A security drone malfunctioned, or so everyone thought. It began moving aggressively through the arena, buzzing loudly and firing small energy pulses. Students scattered. Some screamed. Some tripped and fell. Pico froze in fear. "It's going to hit us," he shouted. Lena stepped forward. Her eyes scanned the drone. Its movement was deliberate, almost like it was controlled. She noticed irregular patterns, slight pauses, strange timings that were not part of the original trial design. "Follow me," she whispered. "Do not panic. Watch the pauses." Step by step they avoided the pulses. Lena used a small metal rod she found on the platform to deflect a low-energy shot. Sparks flew, but none touched them. Riva's eyes widened. "How? How do you stay so calm?" "I watch," Lena said softly. "That is all. Watch, then act." Other teams panicked further. Some students shouted that Lena had control over the drone. Others whispered that humans were dangerous, maybe even able to manipulate machines with their minds. The drone moved closer to a group of students who were trapped on a platform. Lena did not hesitate. She directed her team carefully, then ran toward the edge of the platform. Using a small control panel, she activated a temporary barrier that blocked the drone's path. Sparks scattered in the air, and the drone buzzed angrily, trying to move past the barrier. "Step back," Riva shouted, but Lena did not. She used the timing of the drone's movements to guide the trapped students to safety. Pico followed her, helping those who stumbled. Once the last student reached safety, Lena triggered another part of the platform sequence. A ramp extended, allowing her team and the others to escape the drone's line of attack. The malfunctioning drone finally powered down, sparks flickering out. Students stared at Lena. Instructors whispered among themselves. Even some alien leaders from the observation deck looked shocked. "She did not panic," one instructor said softly. "She saved everyone. She moved with precision," another added, "like she could predict danger before it happened." The trial continued. but Lena's team had already set themselves apart. Their teamwork was flawless, their calm unmatched. Every step they took was calculated. They reached the far end of the arena first, not because they were the fastest, but because they had avoided mistakes and chaos. After the trial, the students gathered in the hall. The instructors gave feedback. Lena's calm and quick thinking were praised. Pico looked at her with admiration. "I cannot believe you saved all of them," he whispered. Lena shook her head. "I did nothing. I just stayed calm and observed." Some students muttered in fear and awe. "Humans, they are not what we expected." Others whispered, "She is dangerous, not in strength, but in mind and focus." While the crowd dispersed, a hidden figure watched the replay of the trial on a small device. The person was cloaked in shadows, their face unseen. They frowned. "She is too good," the figure said softly. "This cannot continue. We need to intervene." Another voice came from behind. "Be careful. The Academy will notice any tampering."
We have time, the cloaked figure said, but we must act soon.
The human girl cannot be allowed to lead others. Not yet.
Meanwhile, Lena returned to the dormitory with her team. Pico still looked shaken.
"Do you think someone tried to hurt us?" he asked. "I think it was planned," Lena said softly. "The drone was not supposed to act like that. Someone tampered with it." Riva frowned. "Why would anyone do that?" "Because they are afraid of change," Lena said quietly. "Some people cannot accept that humans can be calm, focused, and capable under pressure." Miko growled softly. "They will try again. Then we must be ready. Calmness is our strength. Observation is our guide." Later that evening, Lena was alone in her room, reviewing her notes from the trial. She noticed small anomalies in the drone's behavior, movements that were too precise to be random, energy pulses timed to cause panic. Someone had tried to manipulate the outcome. She realized that the danger she faced was not just the training environment. Someone was watching, planning, and testing her limits. She did not feel fear. She felt focus. Focus would keep her alive. Focus would protect others. Far above, in the control room, the shadowed figure leaned over multiple screens. "She handled the sabotage perfectly," the figure whispered. "She is more capable than expected, but we cannot allow her influence to grow unchecked." "The others are beginning to see humans differently. This human girl is changing perceptions too quickly. Keep observing. Prepare the next move carefully." Somewhere in the academy, another figure, hidden and unknown, copied the footage from Lena's trial. They sent it through a secure channel. A message returned. "Continue. She is the one. She cannot fail." In the dormitory, Lena lay on her bed thinking about the day. She had faced mechanical threats, sabotage, and the panic of others. She had remained calm. She had protected her team. She had noticed patterns, predicted danger, and acted with precision. Pico peeked in before leaving. "You really are different," he whispered. "I cannot imagine anyone else handling it like you did." "I only watch and stay calm," Lena said. "That is all I do." But deep inside, she knew that staying calm was more than a skill. It was a shield. It protected her, her team, and sometimes even those who did not understand her. Outside, the academy was quiet. Stars glittered above the towers. Somewhere hidden, eyes watched every movement, every decision, every action. The whispers about humans, their calm and their unexpected strength, were growing louder. Some of those whispers were friendly. Some were not, and some were plotting. Lena slept that night, her mind sharp, her body rested. Tomorrow would bring more challenges, and she knew that some of them would be deliberate tests, attempts to shake her calm and attempts to make others fear humans even more. But Lena's strength was simple, clear, and unwavering. Calm observation, careful action, and focus. The galaxy was beginning to notice humans differently, and some were not happy about it. The trial had ended, but the true test was only beginning. The next morning, Lena woke early. Her mind was alert, her senses sharp. Today the Academy had announced a special challenge, one that would involve all students in a coordinated trial. Rumors had already begun. Some said it was a test of skill. Others whispered it might reveal hidden plots. Lena did not worry. She had learned that fear distracted, but focus protected. Pico met her in the corridor, his small purple skin tinged with worry.
Lena, I heard today's trial is different. Some instructors say it might be dangerous.
They are not joking. I am ready, Lena said calmly. We move carefully, observe everything, and act when needed. That is all we can do. Riva and Miko joined them, both looking anxious. Do you really think someone will interfere again? Riva asked. I do not know, Lena replied softly. But if they do, we will notice, and we will act. The students were guided to the central arena. The hall was enormous, filled with obstacles, floating platforms, and moving walls. Drones hovered above, monitoring each movement. Observers from various worlds watched from high galleries, their faces unreadable. The lead instructor stepped forward. His green-gray skin shimmered slightly under the lights. This trial will test not only your skill, but your ability to work together under pressure. Any unusual events will be part of your evaluation. Stay alert. Trust no assumptions. Lena's team took their positions. She observed the arena carefully. Platforms shifted in unpredictable patterns. Mechanical hazards moved silently. Even the shadows seemed unusual. Lena noticed subtle anomalies, slight flickers in the lights, small marks on the floor, signs that someone had tampered with the environment again. Be careful, she whispered to her team. Watch everything. Nothing is random. The trial began. Lena led her team through the moving platforms with steady steps. Pico followed closely, mimicking her calm movements. Riva hesitated at first, then followed Lena's example. Miko stayed low, alert, ready to react. Suddenly, a loud alarm blared. A drone shot past, firing a small energy pulse toward a group of students who had moved carelessly. Chaos erupted. Students panicked, tripping over obstacles, shouting in fear. Lena did not flinch. She studied the drone. Its path was not natural. It moved with precision, clearly controlled by someone else. Step with me, she whispered. Her calm voice cut through the panic like a guide. Step by step, the team followed her movements. Lena guided Pico and Riva behind a floating wall. Miko hissed softly but stayed close. Lena noticed a hidden panel under one platform, a control device someone had planted to interfere with the trial. She crouched and disabled it quietly. The drone faltered. Its programmed path was broken. Lena's team continued carefully, observing every movement of the other drones. Several students stared, whispering. The human girl, she controls everything, one muttered. She sees what others cannot, another added. They reached a central area where the final obstacle waited. It was a platform suspended over a simulated lava pit. The only way across was a series of moving stepping stones. Lena analyzed the pattern. She noticed one stone moved slightly differently, faster than the others. A trap. Do not step on the last one on the right, she said softly. It is designed to trigger a fall. Pyko's eyes widened. How do you know? Watch, observe, and trust patterns. Lena said calmly. She led the team across safely. Riva followed, trembling but steady. Miko landed on the far platform without hesitation. As they reached the end, a sudden spark ignited behind them. A drone, hidden in a ceiling panel, shot a pulse that could have knocked them off. Lena reacted instantly, stepping forward and triggering a safety barrier in time. Sparks scattered, but the team remained safe. The observers gasped. Some instructors whispered in shock. Even the representatives from other worlds leaned forward, their eyes wide. Lena's calm and precision had saved her team and several other students who had been in danger. After the trial, students and instructors gathered for debriefing. Many whispered about Lena's unusual abilities. Humans, they are not what we expected. Some said, she saved people without fighting. She just observed and acted. The lead instructor approached Lena and her team. His expression was serious. Your actions were exemplary. Your calm under pressure prevented disaster. However, there is more to discuss.
He turned to another instructor. Show them the surveillance footage. A holographic panel flickered to life, replaying the trial.
It clearly showed the hidden drones and control panels. One figure appeared, moving secretly behind the walls and tampering with the equipment. The image made the entire hall gasp. That student, one whispered.
They tried to sabotage the trial. Lena watched closely. The saboteur was a tall alien with gray skin known for being talented but arrogant.
He had underestimated the human girl. His face twisted in shock when the footage showed Lena disabling his traps and guiding her team safely. The lead instructor addressed the hall. It has come to light that this trial was tampered with by one of our own students. Their actions endangered others. Fortunately, due to the calm and precise actions of one human student, disaster was averted. All eyes turned to Lena. Pyko's mouth opened in surprise. Riva's eyes widened. Miko growled softly, proud. Lena did not smile. She remained calm, observing the reactions around her. She knew that attention could be dangerous if misused, but now the Academy itself had recognized her actions. The saboteur stepped forward, defiant but aware of his failure. I did not expect the human to notice, he admitted. I thought she would panic like the others. Lena looked at him steadily, observing, staying calm, and thinking before acting is not magic. It is preparation. He relied on fear and chaos, but those do not win. The saboteur faltered, unable to meet her gaze. Other students whispered, some with fear, others with awe. The instructors took control, warning him of serious consequences. After the debriefing, Lena's team returned to their dormitory. Pyko was quiet, processing the events. You really are remarkable, he said softly. I only stayed calm, Lena replied. Observation is everything. Riva nodded slowly. Not by strength, but by watching and acting. That is powerful. Miko growled softly in agreement. Yes, you are different. That night, Lena reviewed the events quietly. She realized that her calm had not only saved her team, but it had exposed hidden danger and changed perceptions. The Academy, once skeptical of humans, now had undeniable proof that humans could remain calm and act decisively under pressure. Far above, in the control room, the shadowed figure watched the footage again. She has exceeded expectations, the figure said softly. Yes, replied the gray-skinned alien. She handled sabotage, danger, and chaos without panic. The human girl may change the way we see humans entirely. The Academy leadership discussed Lena's actions. They noted that her calm had prevented serious injury and had revealed the saboteur. For the first time, many began to question the old assumptions about humans, that they were weak, fragile, and unremarkable. Lena had shown otherwise. In her dormitory, Lena slept that night with quiet resolve. She knew that challenges would continue, but she also knew that her calm, observation, and focus were her greatest strengths. The whispers about humans were changing, and some students now looked at her with respect, even admiration. The next morning, the Academy's announcement came. Lena would be given special recognition for her actions. The announcement was simple, yet it carried great weight. Observers from multiple worlds nodded in approval. The Academy itself had begun to see humans differently. Pico met Lena outside her room. "They announced it," he said, smiling. "You are being recognized. I do not need recognition. I only acted as I had to. That is all." But even as she said it, she understood something important. Actions mattered more than words. Calm, courage, and careful observation could change opinions and even entire worlds. Riva approached them, nodding in respect. "You showed everyone that humans are capable. That, even without strength, calmness, and observation, can lead to success. A rare expression. Yes, powerful in a quiet way." Throughout the Academy, whispers continued, but now they were different. Some students feared, some admired, and some quietly resolved to learn from humans rather than underestimate them. Lena's actions had set a new example. In the observation rooms high above, the shadowed figure leaned over the screens one last time. "Yes," the figure whispered, almost in awe. "Humans. They are not what we expected. She has shown the value we could not see before. She is the one who will change perception." And somewhere in the control room, the gray-skinned alien nodded. The human girl has done more than survive. She has led, taught, and shown courage in the purest form. This Academy and the galaxy will remember her. Lena walked through the Academy corridors that morning, calm and steady as ever. Students and instructors noticed her. Some bowed slightly, others whispered respectfully. She did not stop. She did not smile. She simply moved, observed, and continued forward. For Lena, the journey was far from over, but she had proven one undeniable truth. Humans, even small and fragile by appearance, could face danger without fear, act with precision, and inspire respect across worlds. The galaxy had begun to see humans differently, and Lena, the quiet, calm girl from Earth, had started it all. The stars above the Academy shone brightly, reflecting on the towers and walkways. Somewhere beyond the Academy, many eyes watched, some curious, some cautious. The first human in this wave had proven that strength was not only in power but in courage, focus, and calm observation. And that proof would echo for a long time.